What if I told you the real reason some women are unforgettable has nothing to do with beauty or youth, and yet psychology says it's the one thing men cannot resist? Carl Jung uncovered part of it, but the rest you'll discover here. Think about this for a second. One woman can walk into a room and instantly turn heads, while another, maybe even prettier, kinder, or more loyal, goes completely unnoticed. Why does that happen? Is it luck? Is it looks? Or is there something deeper at play inside the human mind? Before we uncover the truth, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, SYC Soul. Hit the like button so you never miss upcoming videos, and share this with someone who needs it. Because what you're about to hear may completely shift the way you understand love, attraction, and human psychology. Now let's go deeper. Imagine this. You gave your best to a man. You offered loyalty, care, patience, and devotion. Yet he didn't choose you. He looked away, almost as if you didn't exist. That wound whispers cruel lies. You're not enough. You should be prettier, younger, more exciting. But what if that's not true at all? What if the rejection you felt wasn't a punishment, but a hidden sign pointing to a deeper power within you? Carl Jung would call this voice of doubt the shadow, the hidden part of yourself you deny, but one that secretly shapes your life. And here is the shocking part. Inside that pain may be the doorway to your most magnetic self. Psychologist Walter Riso, building on the same truths Jung explored, studied for decades why some women ignite irresistible desire, while others, often more attractive, kinder, even more loyal, go unnoticed. His conclusion changes everything. Attraction isn't about being perfect, and it isn't about giving more of yourself. It is about awakening something ancient in the male psyche, an instinctive trigger wired deep in his unconscious mind. Once you understand this force, you'll finally see why chasing men, proving yourself, or begging for attention never works, and why the women who master it don't compete at all. So, what is this hidden force, and how can you awaken it within yourself? Stay with me, because in the next, I'll take you deeper into Jung's insights and the secret almost everyone overlooks. What if attraction had less to do with what you give, and more to do with what you awaken inside someone else? That's the uncomfortable truth many people never see. Carl Jung believed that relationships are not simply about two people meeting, but about two unconscious worlds colliding. And when those deeper forces don't align, no matter how much love or effort you give, something feels off. Something doesn't connect. This is why so many women who give endlessly loyalty, kindness, and sacrifice still feel invisible. Because attraction isn't logical. It's psychological. It stirs beneath the surface, beyond reason, beyond effort. Walter Riso discovered through decades of study that attraction is never about giving more or proving your worth. It's about embodying something timeless, something that touches the instinct of a man in a way he can't explain, but he feels it instantly. Carl Jung would have called this archetypal energy ancient patterns older than culture, older than language, etched into the human psyche itself. And this is why beauty, youth, or perfection alone never explain attraction. They may catch the eye, but they don't capture the soul. Think about it. Why do some women, even without fitting society's ideal, remain unforgettable? Why does a man find himself haunted by her presence long after she's gone? Psychology suggests it's because she awakened something beyond logic, something buried in his unconscious that only she could mirror back to him. And here's the striking part. When you learn how to align with this deeper energy, everything changes. You no longer feel the need to chase. You no longer beg to be chosen. Instead, you realize the power was never in being better than someone else. It was in unlocking a force already living inside you. But what is this hidden force really? And how does it begin to shape the choices men make, even against their own reasoning? Stay with me, because you'll see how Jung's insights expose a secret far deeper than most people can even imagine. What if the reason a man can't forget certain women is not about what they did, but about what they represented inside his unconscious mind? Carl Jung often spoke about projections, the idea that we don't just see people as they are. Instead, we see them through the lens of our inner world. In love, this projection can be so powerful that it feels like destiny. It's not the woman herself he can't release, but the reflection of something within him that she awakened. This explains why, at times, a man may walk away from someone who loves him deeply, yet remain emotionally tied to another who gave him very little. The connection isn't measured by logic or effort or even fairness. It's bound to the unconscious. Walter Riso's research revealed that unforgettable women often embody a certain mystery, a strength, or a presence that mirrors a man's hidden longings. It's not about performing or pleasing. It's about being aligned with your own essence, so strongly that he feels something inside himself through you. Think about that for a moment. It's not about being chosen. It's about being a mirror to something he didn't know he was searching for. That's why some women, even without trying, leave a mark that can last for years. And here's the unsettling truth. This mirror effect works both ways. When you don't understand your own unconscious forces, you may also project onto men. You may believe you've found the one, when in reality, you've simply stumbled upon a reflection of your own unmet needs. Jung warned that until we make the unconscious conscious, it will direct our lives and we will call it fate. So the real secret is this: attraction that lasts isn't built on effort. It's built on awareness of your own depths, your own hidden energy, and how it resonates with another person. That is the key to becoming unforgettable without forcing or chasing. But how do you tap into this awareness? And how do you know when what you're feeling is real attraction or just a projection of your own shadow? We'll go even deeper into Jung's psychology to uncover the fine line between illusion and true connection. What if the very things that make you unforgettable to someone else are not the things you try to show, but the things you can't hide? Carl Jung believed that true attraction often emerges from the unconscious signals we give off without realizing it. The way we carry ourselves, the silence between our words, the confidence or lack of it that seeps through even when we try to disguise it. These invisible cues often speak louder than any deliberate action. Walter Riso noticed that men are not drawn only to surface qualities like beauty or kindness. Instead, they respond to an underlying presence, a mix of self-respect, mystery, and emotional independence. These traits can't easily be faked because they come from within. And when they're real, they stir something primal. Think of it this way. A woman who knows her worth doesn't need to chase, convince, or overgive. She radiates an energy that says, "I am enough as I am." That energy alone can spark an unconscious attraction, far more powerful than physical perfection. But here's the paradox. Many women lose this energy the moment they try too hard to be what someone else wants. They silence their own desires. They give endlessly, hoping loyalty will earn love. And in doing so, they unconsciously weaken the very force that would have made them unforgettable. Carl Jung would call this betraying the self, the deep, authentic core of who you are. When you abandon your own self, you not only lose touch with your inner power, but you also lose the magnetic presence that others feel. So the secret is not in changing who you are to be chosen. The secret is in becoming more fully yourself, unapologetically, and allowing that authenticity to radiate outward. That's what lingers in someone's mind long after the moment has passed. But here's a deeper question. If being unforgettable comes from embracing your authentic self, why is it so hard for many people to do this? Why do we sabotage ourselves and hide our real power? We'll now uncover how your own unconscious fears may be holding you back from the very presence that makes you magnetic. Imagine a force so subtle, yet so powerful, that it can make someone notice you in a way that feels almost fated. Carl Jung often spoke about the unconscious mind as a hidden world influencing our choices and attractions. What Walter Riso discovered aligns with this idea. Men are not only drawn to what they see, but to what they feel in your presence. It's not about being the most beautiful, the most charming, or even the most agreeable. It's about a magnetic presence that comes from emotional wholeness. When a woman taps into her inner self, her energy communicates something no words ever could: confidence, completeness, and an irresistible authenticity. Now, here's where the suspense deepens. The very traits that make a woman unforgettable are often the same traits she's been conditioned to hide. She may have been told to always be polite, accommodating, or self-sacrificing, but these behaviors can actually drain the magnetism she naturally has. Carl Jung described this as the shadow, the part of ourselves we suppress or fear. When you reclaim your shadow, honor your authentic desires, and embrace your full emotional depth, you create an aura that draws the right people effortlessly. Before we go further, I need to pause here and ask you to take action. Before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, SYC Soul. Hit the like button so you don't miss the next videos. And share this with someone who truly needs it. Because what you're about to hear may change the way you understand love, attraction, and relationships forever. Now, let's continue. The women who master this sacred feminine presence don't compete for attention or validation. They don't try to fix or impress. Instead, they focus on cultivating a life rich with purpose, joy, and authenticity. This isn't selfishness, it's magnetic self-possession. The moment you stop chasing external approval and start honoring your inner world, men begin to respond in ways that feel natural, effortless, and deeply compelling. Here's the key. Attraction is not something you manufacture. It's something you uncover within yourself. Your completeness, your self-respect, your willingness to embrace vulnerability. These are what awaken desire in a man who's capable of loving at the same level you offer. And the most extraordinary part? Once you live from this energy, the wrong people naturally drift away, and the right people find their way to you. Your inner transformation becomes a filter, a natural force that separates fleeting interest from meaningful connection. Next, we'll explore the 3 pillars of this sacred feminine presence that make you utterly irresistible, and why each one matters more than you might think. To truly awaken your magnetic presence, Walter Riso and Carl Jung both point to an essential truth. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming the person you were always meant to be. When you embrace your full self, men respond to your energy rather than your appearance or actions. The first pillar of this sacred feminine presence is emotional independence. This doesn't mean you reject love or closeness. Rather, it means your happiness doesn't rely on another person. You create a life full of meaning, joy, and fulfillment, regardless of whether someone is by your side. A man senses this immediately. He instinctively knows he isn't responsible for completing you, which paradoxically makes him want to be near you even more. The second pillar is conscious presence. When you interact with someone, you're fully immersed in the moment. You listen, observe, and engage without distraction or hidden motives. You don't anxiously anticipate his next move, nor do you replay past mistakes in your mind. Instead, you radiate calm confidence and a deep rootedness in your own life. This is what Carl Jung would describe as a woman who has integrated her conscious and unconscious selves. Her inner depth becomes tangible and irresistible. The third pillar is unconditional self-love. This is not vanity or narcissism. It's the profound recognition that your worth is inherent, not earned. You honor your desires, needs, and emotions without guilt. You forgive your mistakes and accept your imperfections as part of your wholeness. Jung emphasized the importance of loving yourself as a precondition to loving another authentically. When you exude self-love, it acts like a magnet, drawing men who are capable of reciprocating and valuing that energy. Now imagine these three pillars working together in harmony. Emotional independence, conscious presence, and self-love create a force that is palpable. Men feel it in their core, an undeniable pull towards someone who exists in such alignment with their true nature. And here's a psychological insight. When you operate from this place, men stop seeing you as a challenge to conquer. Instead, they see you as a woman whose presence inspires them to be better, to rise to the occasion, to meet you on equal ground. What many women don't realize is that this process is not about manipulation. It's not a strategy. It's a return to your natural state, a reawakening of the feminine power that Jung and Riso both believed was universal, eternal, and accessible to every woman. Next, we'll dive into real-life examples showing how women have applied these principles and completely transformed their relationships in ways they never imagined. Let's look at how this sacred feminine power works in real life. Take the story of Maria, a 45-year-old woman who spent years trying to win her ex-husband back. She gave everything, her attention, her time, her energy, constantly proving she was the perfect partner. Yet he never truly chose her. She felt invisible, unappreciated, and trapped in a cycle of frustration. Then Maria discovered the principles Walter Riso and Carl Jung emphasized: emotional independence, conscious presence, and unconditional self-love. She realized that the energy she projected was rooted in neediness, not authenticity. She began to focus on herself. Maria reconnected with her passions, painting, traveling, and cultivating meaningful friendships. She stopped sacrificing her happiness to earn his approval. This shift was profound. Carl Jung often highlighted that when a person becomes conscious of their own inner world, it transforms the way others perceive them. Maria's transformation created a magnetic presence. She wasn't seeking him, chasing him, or trying to impress him. She simply lived fully, radiating confidence and depth. The result? Her ex-husband, who had seemed indifferent, began to notice her in a completely new way. He wasn't drawn to a woman desperate for love. He was drawn to a woman fully alive, whole, and self-assured. Another key insight from Riso and Jung is that this shift isn't about external changes. It's not about wearing a new outfit, changing your hairstyle, or using psychological tricks. The transformation begins internally. It's about aligning with your true self, surrendering to your authentic nature, and trusting that the right people will respond to your genuine energy. When you operate from this state, men feel compelled, not because they are manipulated, but because your energy awakens something deep within them. This is the paradox. When you stop trying to control outcomes, you gain power. When you stop seeking validation, you attract validation naturally. When you stop clinging, you become magnetic. Jung described this as the unconscious mind responding to archetypal energy. Men are instinctively drawn to a woman who embodies her wholeness because it triggers a deep, primal recognition of the sacred feminine. Now that you understand the secret of feminine magnetism, it's time to learn how to sustain it and ensure it transforms your relationships permanently. This isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about returning to your authentic self. Carl Jung emphasized that embracing your inner archetypes, the anima, and the feminine self unlocks profound psychological power. When you honor that energy within yourself, it naturally attracts people who resonate at the same level. This means you no longer settle for attention that feels shallow or temporary. Instead, you create space for love that is deep, conscious, and mutual. You attract men who recognize your wholeness, value your independence, and are ready to commit. They don't see your confidence as a threat, they see it as a gift. The energy you radiate becomes a signal that you are whole on your own, and the right man will want to join you in that fullness, not complete you. Practical steps to maintain this state include nurturing your passions, practicing emotional independence, and consciously loving yourself without needing external validation. When you do this, your relationships shift naturally. You experience love without fear, without clinging, and without compromising your values. You become selective not out of pride, but out of wisdom. Every interaction, every connection is filtered through your self-awareness and authentic energy. And here is the most beautiful part. This transformation doesn't just affect your romantic life. It ripples into every area of your existence. At work, you exude confidence without arrogance. With friends and family, you inspire others to embrace their true selves. Even strangers respond to your energy, sensing the depth and authenticity you carry. Carl Jung believed that this kind of self-realization not only elevates your personal life, but also uplifts the collective energy around you. Before we end this journey, I want to remind you, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, SYC Soul. Hit the like button so you don't miss the next transformative videos, and share this with someone who truly needs it. The principles you've learned here are meant to spread, to awaken the feminine power in others, just as it awakens it in you. Remember, the right love doesn't chase, it follows. The right partner will be drawn to your energy, your wholeness, and your authenticity. Embrace your true self, surrender to your inner feminine power, and watch as life brings the love and relationships you genuinely deserve. This is the secret that can transform your love life forever.